If you don't have time to grind, and you want to buy a stacked account in 2K with max badges, a nice record, and a high overall, hit my man SportsTNB up. His Twitter handle is on the screen, and you can find the link in both the comment section and in the description. The year is 2011, which is relatively early on in the 2K community's history. Back in the time of pyramids, millennium items, VC doesn't exist yet, pack openings aren't tricking kids into thinking they have a good chance at drawing rare cards, and basically the only popular 2K YouTubers are the ones playing my career. And who do we know best for that? Of course, the godfather of this entire thing, Smoove, who in my opinion in 2011 is making his most entertaining 2K vids out of everything he eventually goes on to make. The entertainment that he was providing to a community that was still young brought him a ton of clout in a time when it was still difficult to get. And with the clout came envy. And with envy came one of the most hilarious beefs in NBA 2K community history that I don't think any of you remember or even know about. Oh, and it's not really a beef. Technically a beef is two sides, and this was, well, it was an attempted beef, or that's what it turned into even if that wasn't the intentions. In any case, it was a situation that garnered a ton of attention at the time. It's a part of 2K community history all the same, and since absolutely nobody has brought this up or even seems to remember it, I'm gonna give you a recap of a situation that I couldn't believe I was watching in real time. Chris Smoove is a difficult guy to drag into a YouTube beef, which is why he doesn't have any that I know of. He just kinda minds his business, makes a ton of videos, and never so much as mentions other people in those videos. It's definitely a bit of a shift because if you grew up watching him, then you were used to seeing him do dual commentaries in COD, playing with the crew online, so he's definitely a lot more isolated now than he once was on the platform. Anyways, on June 12, 2011, a YouTuber by the name of MrPurple0 decided to try and take advantage of Smoove's social activity by challenging him to a game of NBA 2K11. The way this came about was that Purple was a YouTuber himself that talked about 2K. And in his first video of this saga titled, quote, "Official Challenge to Chris Smoove," he went on to talk about how he was tired of people saying Smoove was better than him at the game. Again, remember that this was back in a time where there weren't a million 2K YouTubers. So I'd imagine that in that climate, if you were trying to break into that community, you were likely met at the gate by Smoove fans. But man, this dude took it personally. Either that or he was a bit of an opportunist. A quick search on the internet archives will show you that Smoove had 240,000 subs one day before this video was made. And I'm assuming that back then that was probably a lot more than it is now, just in terms of how hard that was to get. So in his challenge to Chris Smoove, he went all out. He responded to the fans that were saying Smoove could beat him by effectively saying Smoove did not have shit on him in this game. He pointed to the fact that Smoove really only played my player, and that if he wouldn't accept his challenge in a 1v1, he quote wasn't the man. Now remember, this is at a time when people readily accepted that Smoove was just the best 2K player they'd ever seen. So this guy coming out of nowhere and making a video basically saying he'd wash Smoove, it was kinda like that part where Michael B. Jordan takes the throne from Black Panther. Well, that was the effect he was going for anyways. So around 3 months later, in September of that year, he makes a second video called The Chris Smoove Situation. This video was a reiteration of his challenge with some added twist. By this time, he mentioned that Smoove hadn't acknowledged or responded to his challenge, which had a good amount of views, but someone from his camp did. In the old YouTube days, you could actually see who someone's friends were on their channel, and Purple said that one of Smoove's friends had reached out to him to tell him that Smoove just had nothing to gain by playing him. Basically, the situation was that Smoove would not gain any kind of clout by beating a YouTuber with no subs, but by that same token, if he lost, it would damage his name while also propping Purple up. That's when Purple pivoted into saying that this wasn't a game about subs or clout, but it was just a competitive game of 2K like you'd play with a friend down the street. Only they didn't know each other personally, so they weren't friends. And by the end of this video, Purple is slipping in the fact that he was going to record the game. At this point, NBA 2K12 was getting ready to drop. In this second video, he challenges Smoove to the first game of NBA 2K12 in a Hall of Fame lobby since they'd both have the game early. Now, Smoove would have the game early because he was a big YouTuber, and Purple would have it because,
I'm gonna have an early copy because I do what I do. Alright? I'm gonna have an early copy too, don't worry about that.
Yeah, that. So he went on to say that if Smoove didn't want to upload the video to his channel, he didn't have to, that'd be fine. However, he'd have his own HD PVR by then, so he just uploaded to his modest following of 1,000 subscribers. See, no big deal. I'm just gonna upload a video of me possibly beating the godfather of the 2K community to my tiny subscriber base. It's harmless. It's not like that vid is gonna instantly blow up and eventually put me on your level. That hasn't even crossed my mind. But just about a week later, Purple was starting to realize that he'd bitten off a little bit more than he could chew. He'd now made 2 videos about the most popular YouTuber in his community that were essentially callouts, and Smoove hadn't even said a word about it. However, his fans had, and they were eating him alive in the comments. Thus, on September 14th, Purple made what was believed to be the final video of this saga called The Ending of the Smoove Situation. By this point, 3 months had passed since his initial challenge video, and all he'd gotten out of the deal was negative attention to his channel. He went on to say that if he didn't dead the situation, people would never stop talking about it because, quote, and I'm seriously quoting this was supposed to be like the Pacquiao and Mayweather fight. I mean, here I am making a vid 7 years later about the situation, so he had some kind of point, I guess. Anyways, his tone in this video was much different than the initial challenge where he essentially said he'd wash Smoove, and in my mind, those are fighting words. But here he says how he approached this out of respect, and that he challenged Smoove because he saw that he wasn't a gimmicky player. He went on to wonder why people blew it out of proportion when, by this point, the situation only existed because he'd made multiple videos about a guy who hadn't given him time of day, like any time of day. But he insulted his critics in the comment section, said that he would thrash Smoove, and that was the end of it, for 8 months. Then he just couldn't hold it in any longer. He had to expose what was going on behind the scenes, which actually is still a bit vague. In May of 2012, he released the final video of this saga, bringing Ronnie 2K into the mix. Yes, this was so serious, we had to bring the man, the myth, the legend, Ronnie. It's a shorter video than the others, but here, he revealed that Ronnie had actually reached out to him in October of 2011 via Twitter, which was 2 months after he ended this situation. He shows a picture where Ronnie says on Twitter, quote, "Just made MrPurple0 and Chris Smoove an offer they can't refuse." Beyond that, Purple said he was told in a direct message that part of the plan was for him and Smoove to fly out to LA, but unfortunately, that's the extent of what we ever found out. Ronnie hadn't yet detailed what the rest of the plan was, and that was the last of their communication. I wonder what that plan could have been. Maybe they were gonna go bike riding, maybe go see a Lakers game. Alright, the plan was a game of 2K, let's keep it real. MrPurple0 vs Chris Smoove. What other reason would you have possibly brought those two together for? To have them shoot commercials and promos? There just would have been no reason Ronnie would have reached out to Purple without offering him what he knew he wanted, and he especially wouldn't have worded it the way he did. That idea is further strengthened by the fact that, again, Ronnie never answered Purple after that offer, and it's really not that hard to figure out why. Purple said that he messaged him and tweeted him, but he never heard a response past that initial offer. That led him in this video to call both Ronnie and Smoove out. He called Ronnie a liar and and just listen.
I received a tweet from Ronnie 2K, aka Ronnie Singh. Yes, that's your government name. I'm putting it out there. Ronnie Singh. Look him up, Facebook him. You know who Ronnie 2K is. Tweet him, whatever.
Yeah, he used his government name like that wasn't readily available if you just Googled it. I don't know, maybe it was in 2011. Maybe the internet has advanced faster than I thought, but that's besides the point. He also accused Smoove of either A, not being able to make it to what was planned, or B, ducking the offer and cutting him out of the deal. Now let's just look at this. Personally, if I was in Smoove's shoes, I would have been asking Ronnie what the fuck he was doing even offering that deal to me in the first place. Now that you know the full story, we can go ahead and talk about it and just blatantly call it what it was. It was opportunistic. It would be the rough equivalent of me right now calling out Mike Korzimba to a debate or something. I don't have much to lose because he's several times bigger than I am. So if I could even just get on a stage with him through calling him out, then I already won because I just got a match with one of the biggest names in my community. But like I said, that's a rough equivalent. This guy had 1,000 subs to Smoove's 250,000. What could Smoove have possibly have had to gain by flying to 2K headquarters to play MrPurple0 in a match just to potentially lose on the biggest stage? Simple risk versus reward analysis. There's literally no reward in either scenario. So in the end, MrPurple0 was actually a bit ahead of his time with this tactic. We see it all the time in this social media age where dudes create controversy and drama for attention, and next thing you know, they're reviving their decade-old rapping career. So it was a good try, but it was ultimately fruitless. Smoove said in one of his Call of Duty commentaries that an upload indulging in beef or drama with another YouTuber was a complete waste of an upload, and by using that tactic amongst other things, he's went on to remain a staple in the 2K community for years while many faces have come and gone. One of the faces that did come and go was MrPurple0, and now you know the story of one of the most hilarious 2K community beefs of all time. And if you want to see these videos for yourself because they are comedic gold, I've linked them all in the description. He left them all up for everyone's entertainment, so yeah, go check them out because I promise you it's funnier when you hear it by yourself than what I just recapped. And that's all for today. If you somehow followed this channel and didn't know that I had an even bigger one, make sure to go sub to Don2K where I do more long form NBA videos. The link is in both the comment section and in the description. Hit the like button, comment, and sub if you enjoyed, and hit the bell next to my name if you want notifications on future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.